your time, and we have a full agenda tonight. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, wonderful. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're joining on Zoom or through Facebook Live. We're also going to be recording this candidate forum, and that will be posted on our YouTube channel, the Chamber's YouTube channel. So feel free to go back and access this recording whenever you need to. So thank you, a special thanks to our candidates for joining us. We are very excited that you can be here with us tonight. Thank you for taking out the time to share your message with everybody. Each candidate has submitted written responses to questions that have been crafted by the Chamber's Legislative Committee. Those will be posted on the Chamber's website at www.dpchamber.org. They'll be under the Programs and Events tab in the Government section. If you are having trouble finding those written responses, feel free to contact somebody at the Chamber, and we will make sure that you get that link to those written responses. Please, everyone, as you're joining the call, put yourself on mute. That will cut down on some of the background noise, which I'm sure you can hear a little bit of mine right now, so I apologize for that. As the candidates take their turns speaking, feel free to unmute yourself, but again, please make sure that your mic is muted as you are not talking. And to the candidates, if you have any questions for me throughout the event, feel free to use the chat box, and that message will go straight to me, and I can help you with anything that you need throughout the event. So tonight's facilitator is Hunter Burns. He is a principal with Burns School of Law, which is located in Danville's River District, and he's also the chair of our legislative committee. So we really appreciate you being here with us tonight, Hunter, and I'm going to go on and turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Rachel, very much. And on behalf of the Legislative Committee, we thank all of you for joining us tonight in this unorthodox roundtable discussion, where hopefully your stances will be shown to the voters at large, either contemporaneously or later by checking on the Chamber website. So thank you all again for being here. We're going to begin this evening with giving each candidate an opportunity to speak about their candidacy for 3 minutes. And as Rachel might have just mentioned, she just said a lot of things, but the opening statements will be 3 minutes in duration. And after the opening statements, we will go to some questions that we've received from the public. And those answers will be limited to 30 seconds. And Rachel and I will both be timing the responses, so we ask you in advance to try to be mindful of keeping it concise and to the point, so that we can get done and we can keep this within the allotted hour and a half that we have. So we'll try not to be rude if we have to interject ourselves, but nonetheless, we need to move on as we go through the evening. So I'm going to begin with a quick roll call of all the candidates. If you will unmute yourself and say hello, because I can't. I know that Rachel can see everybody, but I have to widen my screen to see everybody. So I'll begin with the school board, and I'm going in alphabetical order. And I can see there is Dr. Philip Campbell. I can see him. So you don't need to respond yet. Ted Goldini is right there. Y'all are easy. I can see. Well, I cannot see Renee Hughes. Renee, are you here?
I am.
All right. Thank you very much. And Charles McWilliams. Is Charles McWilliams here? Okay. We'll move on to Terrell Payne. Okay.
Hello, this is Charles McWilliams. I am here. I just had to unmuted.
There you go. Okay. All right. We've got Charles McWilliams. I'll go back to Terrell Payne. Is Terrell Payne here? All right. Moving on to City Council. I saw Sheila Baines earlier. Are you still here, Sheila?
Yes, I am.
All right. And Dr. Larry Campbell, are you here? right. Gordon Lyles.
Charles, you couldn't get it to
I got it now.
say, I'm here.
Mhm.
We've got Charles already. Gordon Lyles. Okay, I did not hear from Gordon Lyles. Barry Mayo.
Yes, I'm here, right here.
Oh, okay. Thomas Motley. I saw Sherman Saunders earlier. Sherman's still here? Well, I can see Sherman, but I just can't hear him. All right. Sherman, you'll have to unmute later when you do want to talk. Fred Shanks, I can see Fred right there. Lee Vogler, I saw earlier.
I'm here.
All right. And last but not least, Madison Whittle. Is Madison here? Okay. I will try to only call on those that I know are here. So we're going to begin with Philip Campbell. If you will give your 3-minute opening statement, and you are on the clock now.
First of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to share. And I certainly would be remiss if I did not say that I'm sure that all of the school board candidates and city council as well, that our heart goes out to those persons who have the coronavirus. And since I'm running for the school board, especially so many of the teachers across the country who have lost their lives. And certainly we are praying for the families that they will certainly become better. I am deeply interested and eager to move forward in reference to being on the school board. I was on the school board for 8 years, and I think that I bring something to the school board that would be helpful and that it would be very, very important for our children to be college and career ready. And so with that in mind, I am convinced that education is a necessity and not an option. And for us to move forward in this century, I believe it is extremely imperative that we put education on the front burner and to always keep in mind that for our city to move forward, that it is so essential for our children to have the best education possible. In this coronavirus situation, I think that we're going to have to be creative in some ways that we have not seen before. I was noticing that in Hong Kong that they have learning at home, and in China they are doing television learning. And so I think that we're going to certainly have to be creative during this critical time in this crisis, that our children will not be left behind. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. And we will now move on to Ted Goldine. If you will make sure that you are unmuted, and everybody else, please mute.
Mind the clock? Okay, thank you. Good evening. Good evening. I'd like to thank the Chamber for organizing and hosting this great event. I'd also like to say thank you to everyone streaming this. Your interest in this election is greatly appreciated. My name is Ted Golding, and I am running for the Danville City School Board because I believe that every child deserves a great education. As Danville positions itself as the comeback city, I'd like an opportunity to build on this momentum by helping our students, our community, and our region succeed. I wasn't born here, but Danville has been my home for almost 30 years, and I've raised all 4 of my children here. As a parent, homeowner, and taxpayer, I am keenly aware of the academic rigors placed on our students, and I have a vested interest in seeing our schools and our students thrive. I stand for three things. The first is family and community involvement. I prefer to take a proactive approach to issues. That's why I would like to implement quarterly school board meetings at different forums throughout the community and to coordinate with the police department and join them when they do their shift walks and other community engagements. Holding meetings throughout the city would give parents, family members, and stakeholders more opportunities to voice their concerns and become more involved and invested in school improvements. This would also be an opportunity for the school board to inform parents of any changes or progress, build relationships, and build community partnerships. Excuse me. The second point is fiscal responsibility. The coronavirus pandemic could cost Virginia upwards of $2 billion. We need cost-effective solutions that maximize the value of current and future budgets. We can do this by focusing on key items like capital improvements that can reduce other budget items like the $8 million in maintenance. It would be irresponsible, I think, to ask for a 1% sales tax increase if the budget is hemorrhaging funds. We need to ensure that the community sees a positive return on their investment. Finally, I believe in academic excellence. We need to raise our standards and our expectations. Our teachers are our greatest asset in raising these standards. We need to make sure that these teachers have manageable classroom sizes, access to mentoring programs, professional development, and classroom authority. We need to create an environment of respect, discipline, and excellence. We need everyone's involvement in getting our SOL test scores up, our truancy rate down, and getting all of our students to graduate. These issues not only are hurting the students, but they are costing the community as well. There are 4 seats open on the school board this election, and there are 5 excellent candidates running. I would appreciate one of your 4 votes. The school board works best when it works as a team. And having spent over 10 years in the military, I know a thing or two about teamwork. That's why I'm again asking you for your vote for school board. Let's create better schools for brighter futures. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Renee Hughes will be next, and I failed to mention before that that Renee is the current chair of the school board. And Renee, if you are ready, then you are on the clock. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I am actually currently the vice chair of the school board. I have been on the school board since January of 2003. I believe that the experience that I've had on the board has helped me grow into a better school board member. There's a very delicate balance between what one would call micromanaging versus giving too much of a hands-off approach to the governance of the school system. And I believe that with the academic review, the division-wide academic review, and the emphasis on the governance part that we had to look at as a school board, I believe that I'm ready to do that as the board moves forward, as the school system moves forward. I think the biggest problem that's facing the schools is, of course, money, the capital improvements that are needed. Also, the students that are being served now are about as different as they possibly could be from the students that were in the system when our schools were actually built. There are many more issues that students come into the classroom with, and those issues have to be addressed if valuable teaching and learning is going to occur. I believe that the recommendations of having the community involved is very important. The community relationships with business people, as far as mentoring, it will go a long way. I think that in order for them to do that effectively, they will have to be given a specific guideline for what they need to do and what can be done when they do come into the classrooms or into the buildings to assist with that. The interesting thing is that the board has gone through quite a bit of changes since I've been on there or whatever. We've had one superintendent actually was leaving when I came on, and then we've had long tenures with other superintendents, and I do believe the continuity is very valuable. I believe that there needs to be a seamless communication between everywhere from the school board to the superintendent to the classroom teachers in order for valuable teaching and learning to be accomplished. I believe that the instruction in the buildings, the building level, the principals are the building level instructional leaders, and the superintendent is, of course, the leader of the instructional leaders. I believe all points in between need to be flowing seamlessly as well. I believe the teachers in the classroom who might not have the experience that would be desired should be supported in learning proper classroom management skills. I think that's very important to keeping the students in the classrooms and building those relationships with the students that will eventually lead to better learning. I think that the biggest problem that we would have is, especially with COVID coming in, COVID-19 disappearance, the budget that the governor had recommended is not going to be the same. So we may not be able to do what we had hoped to for the teachers as far as salaries go, but we are constantly looking at ways to improve that and to work with city council. I think that relationship between council and school board is very valuable. They are our funding body. There needs to be trust. There needs to be transparency between those two boards in order to work together for the greater good of Danville and the students and all the faculty of the city, and so that we'll have a very viable workforce when the students are able to graduate. The graduation rates are very important.
Thank you.
And yes, sorry.
It's quite right. I know you have a lot to say, and everybody does too. So we're going to move on now to Charles McWilliams. If you're ready, you are on the clock now.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Charles McWilliams, and I'm running for the school board because basically I have a vested interest in the school district because I moved here to Danville to be with my 3 grandchildren who are all students here in Danville. So I want our schools to be the best schools they can possibly be because I want my grandkids to have access to that. Now, because of that, I believe that's going to benefit every kid here in Danville. And again, I want to back up and just thank you guys for this opportunity as well to come and share these things with you. And anyone out there listening, I thank you for listening. I have some things that I think are important. Now, you have to understand something about my background first. I spent 32 years in public education. I've been a teacher, a principal, a vice principal. I've taught a year here where I taught high school and middle school, and I was a principal here for 1 year. So I have a lot of educational background. I've worked with all kinds of different instructional strategies and systems for managing and improving schools. And since in my working here, I've seen room for improvement. I won't get into any details because we only have 3 minutes, probably 2 now. But I would say this. My main priorities are 1, the creation, development, and maintenance of safe and orderly campuses for every student, teacher, and staff member. People need to feel safe in schools. When they feel safe, they'll feel comfortable and learning becomes a little easier. We need to create, the second is to create and maintain effective environments for all campuses that focus on learning, not on teaching, not on getting the work done. My experience here is too many of us teachers focused on teaching and too many of the kids focused on just doing the work. And what we need to focus on is kids learning the material. The state of Virginia, who basically has determined that we have a number of schools that are not accredited. That accreditation is based on whether or not we pass the assessments, the standards of learning assessments. And in order to pass that, kids need to learn what's on the assessments. That's what they're tested on. So we have to know what they're learning. We have to assess what they're learning. They have to practice it. And the third thing I would say is we have to develop and maintain effective instruction in the classroom as well. And what that means is that the number 1 indicator of student learning, number one thing, all the research says that it will increase student learning is not the schools they attend, it's not their parents, it's not the homes, all the stuff we blame. it's a highly effective teacher. And what we have to do is maintain our highly effective teachers. I've met teachers in this system who've decided they wanted to go elsewhere. We have to train struggling teachers and new teachers to be highly effective. And we have to make sure that they all stay. Now, some of us think that involves money for teachers, and sometimes it does. But it may also involve just incentives in the job here that will make them feel like Danville is a better place for them to work and some of them to live. And that's where our work with the student or the city council comes in as well, is that we need to do that. I'm not sure how close I am, but I just want to say one last thing, and we need to work better with our parents. We need to have established systems that will involve parents in schools, school systems like school site councils, African-American advisory councils, English learner councils as our English learner population increases.
Thank you.
We need gate councils. We need to have these things working effectively for our kids. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, thank you guys very much.
Over. I was trying to get you. We'll go to our last school board candidate, which is Terrell Payne. And I believe there he is. You have 3 minutes and your time begins now.
Hi, Terrell. I don't think your mic is working. I sent you a message in the chat box. There's a number that you can call in if your mic isn't working on your computer.
Rachel, if you'll just update me on that as we move on.
Sure.
We can go ahead and start with City Council now, and we'll begin again alphabetically with Sheila Baines. If you make sure that you're unmuted and you are on the clock now.
Thank you. Good evening. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event and also thank those that are watching. On a daily basis, my first thoughts are about how I can make a difference in our community. I care about our community, and that is why I devote time and energy into volunteering for events and organizations, attending trainings, workshops, and conferences to obtain skills and knowledge that will assist me in being an effective leader on council. I understand that serving on council is not an I, but a we. The we must not only include council members and staff, but citizens, business leaders, and educators, making a commitment to work together for success. Over the past few years, I have attended many council meetings and work sessions and understand the amount of time and dedication required to serve. And I see this opportunity with my eyes wide open, and I'm willing to work even harder for success. I believe that small businesses are the lifeblood of a thriving community, and that doing business in Danville should be made as easy as possible. We must work to have clear outlined pathway to the steps necessary in opening a business, increase collaboration with the chamber, encourage and promote businesses in underserved areas of our city, and review and update zoning policies. Education is critical in the success of growing our community. The only way that we will move forward on this issue is together. And to do that, we must stop criticizing and start helping. We must respect, support, and value our teachers. We should invest in early childhood education. We must have accountability. Transparency builds trust. We need to create youth development programs such as civic engagement promotion, a youth council, and government internships. Communication and transparency are critical to establishing community trust in government. Over the past several years, I have volunteered countless hours in our community, building relationships, listening to concerns, learning about the struggles that people face. Our community is resilient, we have a generous spirit, and we are eager for success. The only way we will move forward, though, is together. That means being courageous enough to face the unique realities and challenges of our region, and then strengthening each other to overcome them. We will do this together for the common good, and as a member of council, I will continue the commitment and dedication necessary to lead the way for all of us to reach a common goal, making Danville a place where everyone has the opportunity to succeed. I ask for your vote, and together we will make a difference, one step at a time. Thank you.
Thank you. I understand that Terrell Payne now has audio, so we will go to him. We'll go back to the school board for Terrell Payne. You have 3 minutes. Let's see.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can hear you. There you go.
Great. First, I would like to thank the Chambers of Commerce for hosting this event for us. Let me start off by saying I'm proud to be born and raised in the great city of Danville. While going through the Danville school system, I had the opportunity to learn and experience so much. One of the reasons why I feel I would be a great candidate for the school board is because of the fresh ideas I have that will be beneficial to the education of our students. One area I would like to address is bullying. Several families have been affected by bullying that their child has faced in school, and on some occasions, this behavior has moved onto school buses and into our communities. As a board member, I would like to look at new ways to address bullying and the consequences for participating in bullying. My long-range plan is to help develop and implement structure in the classroom setting so that both students and teachers feel accomplished at the end of the school day. Also, I would like to have additional training for teachers and administrators on how to better serve our students that has been diagnosed and undiagnosed mental health and serious mental disturbance. I feel that we should have a school system that conveys the concept that every voice counts. The opinions of teachers and students are of equal importance and should be considered when making decisions that affect the classrooms and daily teaching methods. With me on the school board, I can assure you that I will speak for the people, and we can be one voice and one team. We will speak as one and move as one to propel our school system forward. I'm Terrell Payne, and I'm running for the school board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we are now going back to the city council. We've already heard from Sheila Baines. We will now go to Larry Campbell, who I just saw a second ago, so I believe he's here. There he is, he's right there.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Chamber of Commerce, for the forum this afternoon. First of all, I would like to say that I love the city of Danville. I have served for over 12 years on council and over 20 boards and commissions within the city of Danville. We have come such a long ways, but yet we have a long ways to go. I remember 12 years ago, the downtown area and talking with many merchants was dark, bleak. But look what God has done now. We have invested over $150 million. At one time, the foundation sponsored council to go out of town, look what other towns are doing. But now we have towns coming here and seeing what we are doing. What I'd like to say to you this afternoon is that I stated in the paper that I suspended my campaign. And some people came to me and said, Larry, you mean you're getting out of the race? No. But what I'm saying is, because of the governor's decree, I know that on April 23rd, there will be a vote to verify what the governor's doing. I don't think that anyone would risk any chance to vote and to receive the virus or could die from this issue. That's my concern. If it's decided from the General Assembly that they will still have the election, then I would take on my campaign again. The three initiatives the City Council stated in our workshop are reducing violent crime, improving education, in which last year City Council gave $2 million extra to schools to move forward. Now, I'm saying also that the school system, they have to show us accountability. And I pray to God that more of our schools are accredited and growing downtown. It is important for our city to continue to be business friendly. I am so proud of our city manager and his team, all what they're doing. They are really giving good accountability. We have good reserves. I do realize that our taxes this year now will be a little low, but I'm sure without any questions that we can make it and we shall overcome these uncharted waters that we're in right now. Now, what I'm saying, what I'd like to see done in the city of Danville for the next 4 years if I'm elected, I am asking for your vote. I feel that the school system, yes, they need to improve, renovate the existing schools to be renovated. And we need a new police station. We need a parking facility for the River District downtown. We need to have rehabilitation of the Danville Regional Airport. We still are working on the track and field in Langston. We need to have that, and that's a good economic development. Yes, yes, we definitely want to see the downtown River Park finished, and also the White Mill. Now, I'm asking, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking for just one of your votes. I still would like for us to move forward, and I think that I have served, and I want to continue doing the work for this city because I love the city of Danville. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are next going to go to has Gordon Lyles joined us? Okay. I know Barry Mayo is here, so we're going to move on to Barry Mayo. You have 3 minutes, beginning now.
Thank you. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to thank Chamber of Commerce also for this opportunity and see each and every one of you candidates. You all are terrific in your very, very many ways. With me, my qualifications of that while I'm serving on city council was a long-term a citizen of Danville, born and raised here, and Danville, I've worked very hard in the community for over 25 years, working with the entities of these qualifications, with working with youth, adults, and the realm of education and productive citizenship, along with the hands-on experience servicing the community from the volunteering to serving events. I feel that I am the most qualified candidate because of my strong sense of community, compassion, empathy, and leadership abilities. Leadership abilities that has helped me throughout my whole life because of the work ethic that I put in to help me provide positive lifestyles for citizens to live productively. This is the sense that what I feel with the 3 points that I serve, that I represent are education, definitely employment, and our criminal justice, reforming our criminal justice system. Because citizens do matter. From the slogan I have, a Danville for all citizens, I really stick by that because all of our citizens matter. No matter what our circumstances are, no matter what we've been through, if you're living in Danville, we want to provide a safe place for you and continue for you to grow as a citizen. So by helping with employment, which I've had the opportunities to do, working in the entities of jobs that have given me a lot of leadway from the employment standpoint, teaching of our children, coaching, and just being a part of the community is what has got me to this point to where I know that I'm prepared and ready to serve our citizens. This is the opportunity that I've been longing for. I've definitely want to encourage and hope for the votes that I can get to be able to service our citizens out there. And this is what I'm all about, is the service that I can give to being a city councilman. And I look forward to that, and I look forward to just serving our community.
Great, thank you so much. We will now move on. Has Thomas Motley shown up? I don't see his name up here. Are you here? Okay, and we'll move on to Sherman Chalmers. Sherman, can you hear me? Just make sure that you're unmuted. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
We can now. Yes, you're on. You've got 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. Leadership and experience are imperative. Danville is experiencing a very positive transition. I am proud to have been and still remain a member of that body. Economic development determines everything in a city, not only jobs and infrastructure, but also money. I also want to remind people, you have 5 votes. I'm only asking for 1 of them, and yes, my name is the 3rd name on the ballot. A little bit about me for those who may have forgotten. Again, I'm Sherman Saunders. I was born and raised in Pennsylvania County, Ringo community. I live in Danville, and I've done so for 46 years. I'm a current member of Danville City Council and have been for 22 years. I served 1.5 years as vice mayor. I served 8.5 years as mayor. I am past president of the Pennsylvania County Chamber of Commerce before the merger. I'm past president of the Virginia statewide community action agencies for 11 years. I'm also past president of community action agencies for the states of Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and I did that for 4 years. I was appointed by 3 Virginia governors to serve on 3 of their statewide boards: Governor's Manpower Planning Council, Governor John Dalton; Governor's Block Grant Commission, Governor Chuck Robb; Governor's Commission on State and Federal Spending, Governor Gerald Bilal; and I served on many other state boards and committees. I attended Danville Community College, Winston-Salem State University, Avery College, and further training at UVA. I retired from Pennsylvania County Community Action after 42 years of service. I hired 160 employees and raised and managed a budget of $10 to $15 million annually. The organization served Pennsylvania County, Henry County, the cities of Martinville and Danville. I believe in our city and our region, which is why I have chosen the theme, teamwork for a better community. I am married to Sandy Saunders and have been for 47 years. Again, I ask for your vote. You have 5 of them. I only ask for 1, and my name is the 3rd name on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Fred Shanks will be next. Fred, make sure you're unmuted, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. I'm Fred Shanks, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you this evening. I hope each of you are in good health and are successfully dealing with these most unusual times. I'm excited about our future and ask for your vote to re-elect me to City Council so that I can continue to serve on council and on several very important and very active boards that are working hard to bring an unprecedented, transformational time to our region. I'm very proud of the business growth and overall progress made by our team over the past 12 years. Based on this success and the numerous efforts and opportunities not yet publicly announced or fully developed, I believe we have a very, very positive future. I feel that I am the most qualified candidate for
Fred? You muted yourself or somebody muted you. There you go. Go right ahead.
I'm sorry, I don't know how that happened. I graduated from Virginia Tech with a Bachelor of Science degree in civil engineering and worked as a civil engineer for consulting firms in Richmond and in Roanoke. In 1987, I founded Shanks Associates, a civil engineering and surveying firm in Roanoke. And in 1991, I opened a Danville office. In 1998, my firm acquired 2 land surveying companies in Martinsville. My family and I moved back to Danville in 1993. In 1996, I was appointed by City Council to serve on the City Planning Commission. I served on the Planning Commission from 1996 to 2007, terming out after 12 years of service. During that period, I served as chairman of the Planning Commission 5 times, including during the year 2000 rewrite of the city's comprehensive plan, zoning ordinance, and subdivision ordinance. In addition to serving on the Planning Commission and my experience as a civil engineer, I'm a small business owner representing local small business clients for 33 years. I was first elected to City Council in 2008, re-elected in 2012 and 2016. During that time, I served on the following boards and commissions. I served 12 years on the Danville, Pennsylvania Regional Industrial Facility Authority, including chairman in 2019 and vice chairman this year. Served 2 years with the newly created Stanton River Regional Industrial Facility Authority, 12 years with the Danville Metropolitan Planning Organization Policy Board, several years as chairman, 4 years as on the West Piedmont Planning District Commission, and 11 years on the City of Danville Utility Commission. I feel that I am the most qualified candidate in this election due to the following reasons: my civil engineering education, my 33 years experience as a small business owner, my 24 years experience in local government, and my obvious love and dedication to our community. I would like to ask for your vote, and I would like to thank the Chamber for having this opportunity for the candidates. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Well, actually, we've got 2 left. Let's go on through. Lee Vogler is next, and again, I failed to mention that he is the current vice chair, and I apologize to Ms. Hughes for misnaming her previously. You were the chair, and of course I wasn't paying attention, so I apologize. But unless Lee has changed positions in the last 2 weeks, then I know that he is the vice chair. So without any further delay, Lee, you have 3 minutes.
Well, first, I'd like to thank the Chamber for hosting this and for all of you who are watching. This is certainly a different way of doing a forum, but these are certainly different times. But I feel confident that we will come back from this stronger than we ever have before, because Danville is the comeback city. I am glad, however, that we have an opportunity tonight to talk about Danville, where we've been the last few years and where we're going in the next few. Now more than ever, Danville needs leaders who offer common sense, pragmatic solutions to the challenges we face. I've had the great honor and privilege of serving on the City Council since 2012, and in the last 2 years as Vice Mayor. I think a fair question to be asked of anyone who's served in public office for a period of time is, what have you gotten done in the time you've been in office? I think that's a fair question. And so I'd like to take a couple moments to tell about some of the things that I've been involved with in the last few years, like proposing the City Employee Health Clinic that is opened last year and is estimated to save the taxpayers $170,000 in the next 5 years. It also currently has a 97% satisfaction rate from employees. Or proposing and council passing the largest tax cut in Danville history that will help us attract data centers to our city. Making paid parental leave for our city employees was something I fought hard for during last year's budget session, and council approved it. Previously, there was no type of paid family leave for our employees. The bike share program that has been enjoyed by thousands of people and helped with tourism along our Riverwalk Trail was something I fought many years for, and council approved a few years ago. I've also worked to be a champion for small businesses and entrepreneurs in our city. That's why last year I led the effort to reduce burdensome regulations on Airbnbs, home-based businesses, and local small businesses. Small businesses are the backbone of our economy, and I will always fight for them. But ultimately, this election isn't about me. It isn't about any of the people you'll hear from tonight. This election is about you. This election is about the people of Danville and the future of our city. We believe in a Danville whose future can be greater than its past. That future will come with people from every corner of our city working together. That's the Danville I believe in, and I believe you do too. I love this city. I grew up here. I moved back here after college. My wife Blair and I are raising our 2 children here. I don't plan on going anywhere. I love this city. And so I'm asking for your support, and I'm asking for your vote. As others have mentioned, you can vote for up to 5 people. I'm just asking that you let me be one of them. So please, whether it's by absentee ballot or voting in person at the city registrar's office or on election day, May 5th, please vote for Lee Vogler. I would be honored to continue serving our city. Thank you.
Thank you, and you are the closest to being exactly on 3 minutes, so that's pretty impressive. Next, we will move on to Madison Whittle. I see Madison now. Madison, make sure you've unmuted your microphone, and you have 3 minutes now.
Are we unmuted?
You're good.
Okay, great. Thank you, Hunter. Thank you to the Chamber for hosting this forum. I'm seeking a second term on Danville City Council, and I'm thankful for the citizens of Danville who elected me in 2016. I'm asking for your continued trust in me to be your voice. During the past 4 years, I've worked to make government accountable for spending tax dollars. I was the only one who voted against the tax increase in the last budget year, and one of 2 who voted against it the year before. In the past 4 years, also has given me the additional tools needed to continue representing the citizens on this important matter. I'm a Danvillian. I attended Sacred Heart School and graduated from George Washington High School. My family and I have been active members of this community for decades, and I want to continue giving back. I know this community and the issues that are on the minds of our citizens. I grew up in the plywood manufacturing business. When my father retired and sold the business in Chatham, it had 50 jobs. Today, the business is Columbia Forest Products and has over 150 jobs. My dad was a jobs creator. I'm an experienced businessman who creates jobs not only by working to bring new businesses to Danville, but by helping existing businesses to expand. Using common sense and working from the ground up is where I can help. My company works to improve neighborhoods by rehabilitating blighted and at-risk properties, clearing wood and making green space, and working with the city to install off-street lights. And this is an investment that I make in safety, and I believe it has cut down on crime. I support our partnership with DCC, the Institute, and our city and county school systems that are producing job-ready students upon graduation from Precision Machinery program. This program attracts new technical businesses to our area. I support the development of our river district, as well as working to enhance other parts of the city, especially in supporting and expanding small businesses. Danville's Enterprise Zone program provides opportunities and incentives for new businesses to locate or expand within certain designated zones. I understand the challenges of small southern cities, and during this unsettling times of the COVID-19 pandemic, I'm especially aware of uncertainties and the effects this has on our businesses. I will work to help leadership to minimize the stress as we move forward through this next weeks and months. And I ask for your vote on May 5th. Thank you.
Wow, you're only one second off of Lee Vogler, so those last two were amazing. But all joking aside, we might have received a couple phone calls. Rachel has told me through the chat box that maybe we heard from Gordon Lyles or Thomas Motley. Are either of you there? And you will need to unmute your line to indicate if you are here. Okay, well, I tried. All right. Thank you all very much for those opening statements. They were very helpful to me and hopefully to all the other voters that are out there. And we thank you for your preparations on those. We now are going to move into questions from the public, and due to the number of candidates, we will probably only have one question per side, but we'll see if there's more time after that. So we will start going back to the school board. If all of y'all will listen to this question, because it's the same question for all of you. The question is, often administrators, teachers, students, parents, and community members have differing opinions on matters affecting the school system. How do you plan to gather input and make the best decision for the Danville public school system? And I'm going to go in reverse alphabetical order this time. So Terrell Payne, get ready to unmute yourself because you're going to be on first. We will start with Terrell Payne and then go back up the ladder to Charles McWilliams, Renee Hughes, Ted Goldine, and finish up with Philip Campbell. So Terrell Payne, again, this is limited to 30 seconds. So try to answer as quickly as you can with as much information as you can. So Terrell Payne, go right ahead.
Well, first I would like to see that the school board meetings be aired for the city of Danville to make sure that everybody can be a part of what's actually going on in the city, in the school system. Also preparing a system where teachers and parents could interact together to bring the children around to the same structure with the school board, meaning school board members as well as the teachers and the parents must work together throughout the whole school year pertaining to different events that's going on at the schools, and be on site so that the teachers and the parents can be able to talk to all school board members. It's very important that we not just be the ones that's on the seat for the school board, but we also must make sure that we are the voice for the people that we are actually wanting to serve. We got to make sure that we're there if there's an issue, if there's a problem, if there's something that's going on in school, we got to make sure that we're there. So I think just being able to interact inside the schools, such as teacher parent conference or workshops at the schools and different things that they're having, I think that's very important that not only that the teachers go to, but as well as city council get involved with those things also.
All right, thank you very much. Charles McWilliams, you'll be next. If you need me to repeat the question, just please ask me to do so, but I won't do so unless you indicate you need it, okay?
I don't think I need the question because I kind of shared some information on it before. First of all, I would agree with Mr. Payne about being on school site councils. I'm retired. I have time to go visit schools. I've visited over my career hundreds, even thousands of classrooms in numbers of schools. So I believe in being there and observing what's happening in the classrooms. That's the only way I can make a clear and accurate decision. With that said, I also agree in involving parents, but I believe when I mention things like a school site council, where you have parents who have active roles, meaning like the president of the council and that type of things, at meetings with administrators, with teachers, with students, to make decisions about things like how we might, given the limited funds at a school site, use those funds to better educate the children at that school site. I think it's much more important that we make sure that parents are connected with their children's school sites first. It's good for them to know about what's going on with the board and everything, but You know, if my kids are at a school site, I want to know what's going on there, because some schools are performing better than others, and we do want to know, and we need to be communicating so that we can know what those schools that are performing better are doing, so that we can make them happen at all schools. So I would say we need to get parents, students, teachers, everybody together at school sites in a variety of different committees with different interests and emphasis to make sure that all kids learn at high levels. And hopefully that addresses your question.
It does. Thank you very much. Next, we'll move to Renee Hughes. And if you need me to repeat the question.
I think I've got it. The input, as far as getting input, I think it would depend on the timeliness of the decision that needs to be made. If it's something that can wait a while, whatever, then I would encourage doing forums at different locations in the city or whatever, to allow parents and other family members in the community to have input. If it's something that's going to be sort of more hurried or rushed or whatever, then maybe allowing some method of online submission of ideas. In past iterations of the board, there have been times where board members had actually gone to school sites to have input from teachers, whatever, in their downtime rather. The other thing that I would encourage is to make sure that every school in the system has a very active parent-teacher organization, and to encourage parents to be organized and involved in that at that level first of all. So that's about it.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Next, we'll move on to Ted Goldine. Ted, if you're ready.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That's a great question. I think I brought this up earlier. One of the things I'd like to do is be a little more proactive. What's the best way to get somebody's opinion? You go out and you ask them. The quarterly meetings I was talking about throughout the city at different forums. We get the children that are local, nearby. We get the parents involved. We're bringing the parents to us at something that they're comfortable in, a place where they're comfortable in. With the community walks, with the police department, their shift walks, community engagement things, that's where the school board goes out and finds out what exactly is on everybody's mind. It's easy to sit in an office. I do it all day. People come to me. That's easy. What we need to do is we need to go out and be proactive, find the parents, find out what their concerns are, find out exactly what their ideas are. Like I said, there's 5 great candidates running for school board. We don't have all the answers. There's going to be somebody out there with a better answer than we can come up with. And my time is up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, and finally, we will go to Philip Campbell. And you'll need to unmute.
Hello?
There you go.
All right, thank you. I would encourage parents to become more active and involved in the PTAs. Also encourage parents to attend school board meetings and volunteer in the school system. I think we need to also implement a committee of parents, teachers, and students to discuss the ideas and suggestions regarding decisions making. We need voices and support of parents, students, and staff to help us achieve decision-making criteria for our parents and our students. I think that also that the Funders Forum, which is basically a group of businesses like the Regional Foundation, the Womack Foundation, and some others, which I cannot name them all. They are having a consultant to come and to evaluate the city. And it's my understanding that their #1 target is education. So I want to thank the Funders Forum for certainly coming together to make our city better and for our students to be college and career ready. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We will next move back to the city council, and Madison, I'll tell you first, you're going to be up first, so be ready. The question for city council is, COVID-19 has magnified continued iniquities throughout our community. Specifically, when thinking about communities that do not have access to grocery stores, access to culturally competent care, etc., what would be your first area of focus to address these issues. Again, you're supposed to have 30 seconds, and we appreciate you trying.
I didn't hear the question, Honor.
Okay, here we go. COVID-19 has magnified continued iniquities throughout our community. Specifically, when thinking about communities that don't have access to grocery stores, access to culturally competent care, etc., what would be your first area of focus to address these issues?
You know, it's been tragic what's happened. Our economy is in a bad situation, but I would probably just try to keep everybody up to speed with what Delegate Marshall's put on his website, and also Denver Ringelman. These guys have laid out for every part of the information that comes through is for the whole United States. So I would hope that we'd be able to work with the underserved areas by learning what we're doing in the other areas that are really struggling, hot spots. Thank you.
Thank you. Lee Vogler, you'll be next up. If you're ready, go right ahead.
Well, thank you. I think it starts off, first of all, by listening to the people who live in those neighborhoods. And I think that's an important thing. You have a lot of politicians who do a lot of speaking, but not enough to do listening. And so not just during a campaign, but for the last 8 years, throughout the years, I have gone to neighborhoods throughout our city and gone and listened to people, because if I don't live in that neighborhood, then their reality may be different than my reality. And so I need to listen to them to find out what's happening in their neighborhood, to better educate me on what's happening there. And so I think it starts by listening. I think it's about hearing what those needs are, and then working with your community partners. I've had a great relationship for a number of years with Constance Covington and the folks in Cardinal Village, for example. I was just there a couple weeks ago delivering food to folks there who needed it. I was in Cedar Terrace last week doing that. That's something that I'm just personally doing on my own. But as far as policy and all that, again, it begins by listening and finding out what the needs are, getting out of the house, getting out of the office, and not just during campaign time, but all the time. And that's something that I've worked really hard to do, and I will continue to do if I'm elected. The best thing I can do is listen to the people and what those needs are. Thank you.
Thank you. Fred Shanks will be next. Fred, if you need me to repeat the question, just let me know and I will do so.
Please do so.
Okay. And again, these questions are coming from the general public. We solicited these questions. COVID-19 has magnified continued iniquities throughout our community, specifically when thinking about communities that don't have access to grocery stores, access to culturally competent care, etc. What would be your first area of focus to address these issues?
Well, I believe these issues are really a long-term issue that it can be dealt with if we have a very successful economic development policy. A lot of the things that are creating problems for our school systems and our communities are related to jobs and related to the opportunity to work. So I believe that as we continue to seek out local employment opportunities, that this will help curb some of the inequities in the communities that we're speaking of. Also, I'd just like to say, I think our city of Danville has a tremendous public transportation system. And I think that aids in those communities in getting to the groceries and some of those other services that aren't locally available to that community. So I believe two things: continue with the public transportation policies that we have, and second of all, continue hopefully quicker with economic development projects.
All right, thank you very much. We'll next move up to Sherman Saunders. Sherman, if you'll unmute your line and you can begin.
Okay. I think that we have to look at safety first, the continuation of safety for our community and for those who are helping the community. we do need to know, I think, specifically, what do the people need and what do they want before we try to decide what's best for them. They need to tell us what those needs are. The city has a number of facilities throughout the city, and we can try to make those available to serve people along with the thousands of volunteers in our city as well as in our region. So we have to consider safety first, serving the community, finding out what they want, and make city facilities and services more available to them and deliver that service in a safe manner. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll next move to Barry Mayo. If you will unmute your line, you may begin now.
Yes, I agree so much with all the ones who just mentioned, but I definitely think that we need to listen on only to our national government, but our local government, to see what the biggest needs are. When you see that whatever needs they are, see exactly what you can do to help. When I look at those needs, safety does come first. We have to make sure that because of this epidemic, our safety is definitely as important as well as the citizens we're trying to serve. So just seeing the needs, what are the biggest needs? It could be the food, clothing, shelter. It could be healthcare. It could be the matter of transportation. But I will seek the needs, be safe in helping in every way you can, and see how we can turn around what's happening in our city.
Thank you very much. Larry Campbell, you will be next. If you will unmute your line, you may begin now.
Can you hear me, sir? Yes, I think this is a golden opportunity for local entrepreneurship. A lot of things are shortcomings. After you determine what the needs are, then we can unite. I work in two areas that are very important to me. That is faith-based and the media, running the radio station. So I can see that those are great tools which are already happening quite a bit. Times like this also, you have to remember this is family enrichment. Families are coming together closer. Civic groups can get involved more with the things that are happening. But I really do feel that faith-based can play a very important role, and they have, and will still continue on. So this is a golden opportunity to develop and grow our city moving forward, and more businesses can be established. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Baines, you have the last word on this question. If you need me to repeat it, please let me know.
I know, I've got it. Thank you. We certainly have seen what many of the needs in our community are, food being one of those. And we can appreciate the fact that there have been many in our community who have been working together to put together food to get out to families, and working with other churches in the community to do it. The school system provided for a while. It is important that we continue to use our food banks to be sure and get the food out. We have to make sure that people have transportation to get to the food. Also, safety is important. A lot of people cannot afford masks or have difficulty getting somewhere to be able to purchase items. So they have to make sure that we have something in place to be able to show them what they can do to help protect themselves during crises like this. Listen in the community, offer to help people, share information on how they can reach you or others to get information on how to be able to meet the needs to get things that they need in the community. We have to do that by sharing of resources, sharing our information, and how to get in touch with each other.
Thank you. The good news is y'all did a very good job of trying to stick somewhat close to the time restrictions. So we actually do have time for one last question. And it's going to be the same question for school board and city council candidates. We received a number of questions about the casino. And the question to you is, what is your position on a casino potentially coming to our area? We will begin going back to the school board. We will begin with Ted Goldine. Ted, if you have time, again, what is your position? on a casino potentially coming to our area. You may begin now.
Thank you. I'm actually for the casino. It's not something that I personally would do, but I see the benefits of having that tax base. That's something that we need, as a lot of candidates said this evening. We're doing the small businesses. We're also going to need some large businesses that can get an influx of cash from obviously through taxation. I wouldn't like to see it in like downtown area. I would like to see it separated somewhat from the city, especially with the infrastructure that you'd need just getting to and from and actually being there.
Thank you very much. We will next go to Philip Campbell. And if you are ready, you may begin now.
Thank you. I am also for the casino. I think it would bring economics into our city. I am somewhat concerned about where it will be located. It's my understanding there are several sites, and I think that's been a concern for many, but I support the casino.
Thank you very much. We will next move to Charles McWilliams. And if you unmute your line, you may begin now.
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
I don't think you can see me. Can you see me?
I can see you and hear you.
Okay. Well, I have an interesting perspective on this. I agree with the casino, but as I shared, I spent a lot of years in education. In my last position, before Danville, I worked in a school system in California. 1.5 miles down the street from the school where I was principal was one of the largest casinos in the state of California. It brought jobs to that community. It brought sources of income. The negative is that people have access to gambling, but those who are going to gamble are going to find some place to gamble anyway. So I think it would be a great thing for this community as a source of income that might benefit our school system.
Thank you very much. Renee Hughes, you will be next. If you are ready, you may begin now.
Thank you. I am also in favor of casinos being allowed to come to Danville. My big concern would be, and I believe it has been addressed or will be addressed in legislation, that a specific amount of money will go to the school system. I know that there were some hopes and dreams that didn't come along with the lottery as far as school funding went. But the other thing is that it's my understanding that there will be support for people who might have a gambling problem to get them treatment or whatever as part of it. And that, I think, is a big part. But all in all, I am in favor of having a casino in Danville.
Thank you very much. Terrell Payne will be moving to you next on this issue. So if you are unmuted, so you may begin now.
Yes, I'm for the casino. I have, some questions where they will actually put the casino, but I do feel that it will open up a lot of revenue for the city and give people opportunity to get out and get different jobs and different things like that. So I'm actually for the casino.
Thank you very much. We will now move to City Council. We will begin with Larry Campbell this time. And if you are ready, you may begin.
Do you hear me, sir?
Yes, we hear you. Andy.
Thank you for that question. I am for the casino, but this is my concern. I am concerned about the contracts, that it would go, a certain percentage would go to minorities. And I think that's very important to see more businesses develop within the community. I just don't want to have our people getting a piece of the pie, but be part of the process of making the pie. I just don't want the big wheels to make money, but this could be an opportunity for entrepreneurship development. Now, some people from the faith-based projection are saying, well, this is not the right thing to do. I don't know what percentage already in the city of Danville, but a lot of people are already gambling. When I go out 58 East before the shutdown happening, and I saw some of the places packed 24 hours during the day, City of Danville was missing out on taxes. And lastly, our school needs millions of dollars. And I'm praying that the revenue that would come from the casino my vote that is mandated, which council will have to make that decision, that all profits will go toward the school and capitalization.
Thank you. We will now move to Sheila Baines. If you will unmute, you may begin now.
Okay, thank you. I too am in favor of the casino. I believe it will bring much needed influx of revenue to our city. We do have to be careful about the sustainability and not relying simply on this to be the save-all that we're going to need in our community. It's not good to rely on one thing to be able to fund what we need in our city. So we're going to need to look for different income sources. And one of those that I would like to see that we start back working on is to bring more visitors into our city. So we need to highlight our city more and bring people in to see what we do offer. And hopefully that will also bring in more revenue and bring in some new people into the community.
Thank you very much. We'll now move to Sherman Saunders. So if you will unmute your line, you may begin now.
Thank you. I have no problems at all with having a casino in Danville. However, I am extremely pleased that the people will decide and not 9 people making decisions for 40,000 people and for the other thousands who would visit our area. If yes, Danville will reap a lot of money for our schools, government services, infrastructure, jobs, regional growth. Location is very, very important, very important. And anyone who may be negatively impacted by a casino, services must be in place to help them. So there's great promise for the revenue that the casino would bring, not just to our city, but you can believe there will be bus loads of people coming in from all over this region. Thank you.
Thank you. Barry Mayo, you will be next up. So if you are ready, you may begin now. Make sure you unmute.
Okay, thank you. I agree wholeheartedly with Sherman Saunders just said. It's going to bring tremendous boost for Danville. Ever since I've been asked that question many times, what will a casino do? It definitely will bring economic development, tourism, boost our economy, bring in needed companies. And it also, and remember this, there is the opportunity that it will enhance and help our schools, because that's one of the things that is definitely was needed, is to boost for our schools, because the opportunity to help support the educational foundation that can provide more opportunities for our public school systems is what we need. And I am definitely in agreeing with it where it will be. There has been questions. I like the river. I like it down there. I can see coming off the hill, coming off of the bypasses, how it will just lighten our city. So I am definitely in favor of it.
Thank you very much. We'll next move to Lee Vogler. If you are ready, unmute and you may begin now.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so when this first came to council, I don't think it was something that any of us were anticipating. You know, if you'd have told me a couple of years ago we'd even be having this discussion, I probably wouldn't have believed it. But, you know, it's an opportunity for thousands of jobs and millions of dollars for our city to have an entertainment venue where you would have national music artists coming in on a regular basis, was something that all of us on council felt that we needed to explore further. And so early on, we all decided that if we're going to do this, let's do it right. And I think if you look at the way that council and the city has handled it so far, we've been very patient. We've taken our time through it. We didn't jump right out right away and say, this is who we're going with and this is where it's going to be. We had an RFP that went out. And if you look at it now, Danville is really positioned, believe it or not, the best out of all the localities that are looking to do this. Pretty much anybody who is somebody in the casino industry has been knocking on Danville's door to be that one that would have the opportunity here. So, you know, we are very excited about the possibility for all the reasons that folks ahead of me have already mentioned. And another thing that's important, I went and spoke last year to the Virginia Senate in Richmond, and a number of council members went with me. We had the chief of police who stood there behind me, Delegate Marshall. It was a big group of us went and I spoke. And the main thing that I asked those senators to do, and it sounds that the senators and the General Assembly members, all of them this year with the legislation, allow the people of Danville to decide what is best for Danville. And that's what it looks like the General Assembly's decided to do this year. And so ultimately in November, it won't be council, it won't be the school board, it won't be elected officials. It will be the people of Danville who get to make this decision. And the best thing we can do is just present them with all the facts. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Fred Shanks, you'll be next up. If you will unmute, you may begin now.
Okay, thank you, Hunter. I too am in full support of the casino operation here in Danville. City Council has spent a great deal of time over the past year and a half making sure that actions were taken that would put the city in the best possible position should the citizens decide to pass the referendum. So we've met with consultants and put out the RFP. We've met with several casino operators, and we've just had a wonderful, enlightening dialogue with all those involved in the casino operation. And needless to say, citizens of Danville decide to pass this referendum, there's a tremendous opportunity and a large number of jobs. I don't think anybody yet has gotten a full understanding of the magnitude of revenues that could be driven by a casino here, the increase in the opportunity of music venues and hotels with a conference center, restaurants. There are a lot of jobs, and there would be a lot of people that would be employed there. Hopefully that would lead to some increase in population in the city. I just think, you know, when we first met about this operation, we talked about public safety and public schools getting them a good portion of the funds. There are plenty of funds to go around, and I look forward to hopefully the city passing the opportunity for Danville to have a casino. Lastly, I'd like to note that the location, Danville's location, is tremendous in terms of reaching south and picking up a large group of tourists. And it's important that we have a destination resort location so longevity can be included. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madison Little, you will get the last word. So, and then I will follow up after you finish. But if you are unmuted, then you may begin.
Okay. Sure. On the casino, it's all about the money. It's about renewing the schools, getting the funding that we'll need that's going to be critical to bring our school systems back. I don't see another way at this point. I do know that the casinos do offer a lot to the city. I even asked for a $40 million police station, and because I didn't want the taxpayers to have to pay for it, and I didn't get a no. So I just think that it's up to the constituent to vote, and I'd like to see it get through because I just don't see a whole lot of light at the other side of that tunnel without it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to thank all of y'all. You did a very, very nice job tonight, and I thank you for adapting to this unorthodox version of the panel that we normally try to run to help educate the members of the chamber and the community at large. I want to thank Rachel and Alexis for doing a great job at the chamber and giving you and the constituents an opportunity to find out what the issues are, who the people are, and I believe that I at least am better educated after tonight. So again, thank all of you. I wish you the best during these times and throughout your candidacy whenever the election may be held. We talked about possibly delaying this, but we thought, well, we've got it planned, and you are running for office whenever that happens to be. So good luck to all of you. And again, thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.